actor turned political commentator Hal Sparks, with whom I've been friendly with over the years, decided to disparage me along with my friend Glenn Beck in a sad attempt for clicks. He published a video called "MAGA Dimwits, Glenn Beck and Carol Roth Claim Joe Biden Has Caused Shrinkflation." All right, first, everyone who knows me knows that there's nothing particularly MAGA-ish about me. In fact, I've never even voted for Trump and have been pretty clear about my independence. I hate to speak for Glenn, but I don't think he's ever claimed to be MAGA either. But of course, we want to throw that label on there to get some extra clicks and some extra outrage for sure. The second part is that he called us dimwits. Now, I am a very many things, but a dimwit is not one of them, particularly in the areas of economics and finance, where I have almost 30 years of experience, and I'm pretty well regarded for my takes. You can disagree with them, you can debate them, as many people have done. In fact, I'm actually proud of the fact that I talk to people across the political spectrum, whether they're ultra-progressive or ultra-conservative, and sometimes we disagree, but Mr. Sparks didn't do that. He resorted to name-calling, something I would not expect from somebody with whom you would have a civil discourse for many years, as I had with Hal. Now, knowing Glenn, he is also incredibly smart. You can argue with his points, and he and I don't agree on every single subject. But again, dimwit makes no sense. In fact, I would also say that Mr. Sparks is not a dimwit. He's not stupid. He, however, is acting as a bad friend/acquaintance, and frankly, is kind of a twat for this move, which is obviously trying to trade off of Glenn's huge platform for his own clicks. Now, as for Biden causing inflation and shrinkflation, as I noted to Glenn, Biden, as well as the Fed, have enacted policies over the past few years that stoked historic inflation. This included Biden's direct stimulus after the COVID mandate recovery that many of us warned would predictably stoke this inflation, which it did. And we've seen the recent CPI numbers. We're still dealing with elevated inflation. Now, Trump's not blameless either. He set some of this in motion, but Biden did come in and make inflation exponentially worse. Now, shrinkflation, as I mentioned to Glenn, is a downstream effect of inflation. When inflation takes hold due to bad monetary policy and, as in the case that we've been dealing with, bad fiscal policy, corporations first try to raise prices to keep pace. But at some point, the consumers are no longer paying that price for a candy bar or a bag of chips or frozen pizza. They just won't do it. So instead of pushing up the overall purchase price, the price increases on a per ounce or some other metric base, so they can keep that headline price in place, which means you receive less product for your dollar. You may find that an $8 pizza is now a third smaller, hence shrinkflation. Now, in trying to blame corporations for this, Biden's talking out of both sides of his mouth. If he says the economy is doing better, GDP is growing, well, that would mean that corporations are growing as well. When he says that wages are increasing, that would obviously increase costs for businesses that they then pass on to consumers. It's all very much related, and he cannot claim economic victory and then chastise the businesses for their growth. But I think the most important point is that corporate profits aren't increasing materially at any higher rate than during other times. So let me read you this. According to FactSet, Q3 2023 marked the 7th consecutive quarter that the S&P 500 reported lower profit margins. At the same point in time, Y charts shows lower U.S. corporate profits after tax as a percent of GDP than when Biden took office. And Guru Focus, using Bureau of Economic Analysis data, shows a shrinking corporate profit margin during the time period that inflation was raging under Biden. Okay? So the idea that corporations just decided to become greedy today is always a stupid talking point. If a business is charging too much, another company is going to come in and try and sell a lower price with the same quality to take market share if they could. Also, why would they just be greedy now, particularly in the last couple of years as the purchasing power of consumers has dwindled due to that Biden and Fed-induced inflation? That is, as Biden likes to say, malarkey. Now, this is a well-documented reality. It has nothing to do with MAGA or being dim-witted, but a shitty president, a shitty Congress, and an irresponsible Fed. And if you want to slander someone and throw bad accusations around about them, know that reflects more on you than on those people. And how it is even tackier when you have a pre-existing relationship with the person. The bottom line is that people know the reality of inflation, and if you want to be a political hack, leave me and my friends out of it.